Was it meant by procedural due process? What was meant by?
I don't think
No,
that's ours.
that you're looking at the.
That's 0708.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah, that's also unit 3 too, or that's unit 5. If they had pursued.
Do you have a question, Mr. Daniel?
That's the 14th.
I'm struggling.
What's the freaking Fourth Amendment?
Okay.
You may begin.
Confucius, innovator of Chinese politics and law, wrote, "Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without it." The Fourth Amendment shines as a constitutional diamond by promoting the fundamental values of the American people and protecting them from government abuse.
The Fourth Amendment embodies essential values that define the American people, including the value of privacy, the value of individuality through freedom of thought and conscience, and the value of the rule of law. The very language of the Fourth Amendment shows the embodiment of privacy, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Justice Louis Brandeis's dissent in the 1928 case Olmstead v. United States stated that the Fourth Amendment sought to protect Americans in their beliefs, their thoughts, their emotions, and their sensations, all elements that contribute to a citizen's freedom of thought and conscience. In the 2009 case, Safford United School District v. Reading found that it was unlawful for a school to search a student and invade her privacy without reason. Finally, the specific wording of the amendment, "shall not be violated," and "no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause," plays directly into the concept of limited government and rule of law by promoting negative rights, or rights against government intrusion, which embodies the value of republicanism.
The Fourth Amendment shines brightly as a diamond of our Constitution, but is not without its flaws. Issues with government abuse have been a persistent debate from colonial times to modern day, because the government has continued to infringe upon the enumerated rights of the Fourth Amendment that the Fourth Amendment grants citizens. Beginning with the Molasses Act of 1733, colonists were outraged over the issuance of writs of assistance. Writs of assistance allowed British tax collectors and law enforcement to search and seize smuggled goods like molasses, but contained no specifications about why, where, or how they would perform these searches.
In Paxton's case, James Otis defended 63 enraged merchants in 1761 when he gave a persuasive speech at the State House, arguing that the writs of assistance appeared to him the worst instrument of arbitrary power. In the 1765 British case, Etnick v. Harrington, Lord Camden ruled in favor of a disgruntled citizen, John Entick, whose home was invaded and searched by British messengers of the king, stating, "By the laws of England, every invasion of private property, be it ever so minute, is a trespass." As there continue to be adjustments, the constitutionality of warranted searches, the 2009 case, Arizona v. Gant, limited warrantless searches to diminish abuse by government officials.
As technology increases, the government's power to search without trespassing, the literal and metaphorical space considered to be private is placed in flux, and the court is forced to readapt the basic principles of an 18th century rule to 21st century rights. Jurisprudence of the Fourth Amendment in the new millennium has ventured even deeper into objective and subjective expectations of privacy than Katz v. United States and its phone booth in 1968.
President Thomas Jefferson wrote, "In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock." While the interpretations of the Fourth Amendment must be adaptable, the principles and ideas behind the amendment are what must remain the same and be protected by these adaptations. In the 2001 case, Kylo v. United States, the police collected evidence by using a thermal imaging device from outside the home. In the 2012 case, Jones v. United States, the police placed a GPS tracking system on Antoine Jones' car. Despite the fact that there was no physical trespass in these cases, the court ruled these searches with technology as violations of the Fourth Amendment, as it did not pass either the subjective or objective test of reasonable expectation of privacy. The idea of what constitutes a search has had to continue to progress in order to keep up with advances in technology. This idea of ever-changing progression is what elevates the Fourth Amendment as a shiny diamond rather than a simple pebble. Thank you.
348.
Sure. Do you have, what Fourth Amendment rights do you have at school? And how are they different or similar to rights that you may have at home or your parents might have at home?
Our rights are definitely different at school because we actually do not need a warrant to be searched. In the case New Jersey v. TLO, it was ruled that teachers could search their students without a warrant. However, police officers still needed a warrant unless they were searching on the teacher's wishes.
And then going off of what Jake said, if you're at school, teachers are actually allowed to search because they have, if they have a reasonable cause or if they seem suspicious about something, they're actually supposed to look out for every other student as well because they're the safekeepers of the school. So they have to look out for not just themselves, but also other students that are in the school. When parents don't have to do that, you have different rights at home.
What is the difference between probable cause and reasonable suspicion?
Probable cause would be something along the lines of, like, if you had a drug dog and it's reacted in a way that a drug dog would react when it smelled drugs, like barking or doing whatever they do. But reasonable suspicion would be a less, like, concrete form of, something like that, like, less in the moment and more based on, like, other things that are going on and, like, the knowledge of the person, the knowledge of what that person would do.
So additionally, in the case Kentucky v. King, we see that it establishes exigent circumstance, which can be, which they can go in and seize someone without a warrant if they have reasonable suspicion. Now this ties right into Carla's point because reasonable suspicion, like she said, is less of, less than probable cause. So we see that it doesn't need to be as well established as probable cause does. So in a case when someone may be harmed or evidence may be wiped, all they need is reasonable suspicion, not necessarily probable cause.
When can an officer do a search without a warrant?
You can do a search without a warrant when the evidence has a chance of being erased or changed in any way, or he is an immediate danger.
I think that's called the, I want to say expository rule or something like that. It's some kind of rule.
That sounds nice.
It's something like that. It's something rule. I can't think of it, but it has to do when there is a chance, like Gigi said, when the evidence can be tampered in some sort of way. So you do not have to have a warrant to I guess search it, because then and then also if it causes harm to any sort of people, then that can also be a time where you do not have to have a warrant.
What my partner Ashley was trying to say was exigent circumstance, which was established in the case Kentucky v. King.
No.
Don't do that. If I go to the airport,
Wait, is this mom?
I want to fly, because that's what you do usually, the airport.
Huh.
And I have to go through TSA security. We all do, okay? Do they don't have a warrant to like search my bags or pull me out of line or do any of that stuff. On what grounds can the TSA basically violate my Fourth Amendment rights every other Tuesday at 6:45 in the morning? Hypothetical.
Well, the TSA is dealing with like matters of national security, and also they are protecting the like right of a person to be secure in their life and the like ability to get on a plane and expect there's not going to be a bomb in someone's suitcase or on someone's person. So this is a circumstance that would fall under essentially the idea that it's it's an exigent circumstance essentially. It comes under the idea of like you have to protect people from immediate danger, and by doing that they have to like be able to search your items in order to adequately protect people.
This goes along with the idea of forsaking your rights for the common good. And in this way, like when you go to TSA, you're forsaking your Fourth Amendment rights in order to protect every other person in the airport or on the plane or on the ground.
Additionally, currently we can see that these issues of surveillance, like surveilling someone's person over national defense or over national defense over someone's personal right to privacy has been so evident because we see that the NSA has been encroaching upon people's right to privacy to protect our nation, to protect our people. So in the media we do see that with instances like the NSA and with other current events, we can truly see that they do value national security. Like terrorist bombings on a plane over our right to privacy as enumerated in the Fourth Amendment.
No, you want the comments.
Yeah. Do you wanna hear participation or no? Do you want
I don't know.
participation?
Was
More
that
on
a good
record.
thing or a bad thing? Was that a bad thing?
Yeah, I've said that to Tammy Jackson about 600,000 times about Hannah. It's like, what have I done to your daughter? I'm sorry.
Honestly, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
good
gonna take it as a
Okay,
good
all right, that's fair. Yeah, it's a good thing. You wanna go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want participation?
Oh yeah, participation.
Okay.
Might as well get it. Yeah.
Carla did it twice, Ashley did it twice, Jake did it 4 times, and Gigi did it twice.
That's not
That's
bad.
actually a really
No,
good.
it's
That's pretty
actually
good.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's a good balance.
I'm
Because
okay
think
with
about
that.
it, we have Kat, she can take one of yours or
You
one and a half.
take
You should-
One and a half of yours.
I
Or
didn't-
you could give 2 of yours. And
Yeah.
I'll have 2.
Well, the
Yeah, so just.
the sense is that I didn't feel an imbalance, you didn't feel an imbalance, so that's good. So with this question about the Fourth Amendment, you gotta know your school law. There's always a cross-act question talking about students at school and blah, 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 blah. And so you guys came up with New Jersey versus TLO, which is good, that's
The
the
seminal
landmark
case,
that's
yeah.
like the landmark case. But there's a lot of complexities having to do with student rights at school, and there's a lot of things that you guys probably should, I mean, that showed the basic understanding of the question. And if you guys wanna really get to the next level, you're gonna have to show a nuanced understanding, like you understand some of the complexities, or even some of the things that are being considered by the court now, having to do with students' privacy at school and stuff like that. Yeah, so just brush up on your school law and the Fourth Amendment, it's super important. I asked a question about, officer searches without a warrant, and you guys had a pretty good grasp on that. I think there's some nuances that you'll
Yeah.
definitely talk about. One thing that came to my mind was, what's the little people outside here? Oh, Terry stop?
Terry, yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about that.
Okay, so that's one that needs to be added.
Should we write that down?
Yes, you
What's
should.
it called?
Terry,
Ohio.
Ohio. That's one I've been meaning to talk about.
It's on your thing too.
Yes, on
Send us
that
a, shoot us an email about it.
I will shoot you an email.
Oh.
The video, so yeah, I'm not writing it down.
Alright, go ahead.
So again, like, you guys had a really good basic understanding of that concept, and you guys got the general gist, but we gotta clean that up and make sure everyone's just like bam, 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 bam. That all hits in the bag.
I think, considering that we literally have not talked about the Fourth Amendment as a group, like, since the 1930s, like, since before cats, so there's all this new case law since we talked about it. I think that you guys demonstrated, and the good thing is that, you have the chassis of the car is there, the framework is there. So like, you just need to, you should just build the car on top of it. And so I will say that, yeah, TLO v. New Jersey, and I know that in a previous incarnation, and actually I don't know if, there's another like Nebraska case, I think, that you guys talked about.
Stafford v. Reading
Yeah.
is also about school.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about
It's about
from
a
here?
drug dealer and students.
Yeah, Stafford United.
Right, and so you guys obviously have a good, basic grasp, high unit too.
Bye.
We just want to hear your comments.
Okay, alright, no, you can't, I didn't say bye, they did. I'm nicer than they are. So, what I would do is, Terry v. Ohio, the probable cause versus reasonable suspicion, you guys, you're right on the right track. Now, what I think, especially what Mr. Carlin is alluding to, and this is where we do, part of being like a good We the People team is obviously understanding, or being a great We the People team is understanding plus examples, or being an excellent We the People team is understanding examples and finesse with the language. Being able to use, to basically articulate in We the People buzzwords and constitutional buzzwords is to speak the language. And so the reasonable suspicion, we haven't talked about that. Terry v. Ohio involves what we call a Terry stop, which is, it's a mini search, mini seizure. Basically, it's if a cop sees somebody and they have reasonable suspicion that they can articulate that this person is about to commit a crime or is, and it's about preventing crime, then he can go and briefly detain them and do a pat down of the outer clothing to search for weapons, and basically just it's not a full-on search, it's not a full-on seizure, but it's considered to be.
Officer safety.
It's mostly for officer safety and the prevention. So basically, it's a compromise between the two. It's basically probable cause light. It's like diet probable cause. Okay? It tastes just like regular
But-
probable cause.
But it's sticky though, it's a super sticky thing, because the
And
police
diet-
officer,
diet Coke tastes serious.
Exclusionary rule. That's what it was.
But you
It
got it
started
wrong.
with an E.
But you got it wrong.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
why I was like,
it started with an E. I was
Right.
almost, dang.
That's what.
Okay, I'll get that next time.
She just bursts out like that.
Exclusionary rule.
That's always just.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it is
So
definitely.
and we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on video because we can talk, but, Carl, I think you were on the right track with the TSA. Think about this. Do we have a constitutional right to get on a plane in the first place? No. So it's not really, so if you don't have a right to get on it, once you get on a plane, I would say that your reasonable expectation, especially your objective expectation of privacy, is that, well, I may have a bomb in this plane that contains 135 people, but, you know, my right to privacy is so sacred that you can't check to see before you get on. It's not exigent circumstances, it's a different exception that we call the special needs doctrine, which is the most generic name you could have for it. We'll talk a little bit more about it. It's a special needs doctrine, and it has nothing to do with finding evidence of crime. It's everything to do with preventing an act from happening.
and I think Gigi hit it right on the head, is the needs of the many are more important than the needs of the few.
Special needs of us to live.
You hit it right, classical Republican
And to
nationalists.
not explode at our last act on this earth. I don't want that.
All right, anything else from you guys back there?